up, let's get you more of another war of words that has ensued between the NDA-led, the BJP-led NDA government and, of course, former president of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi. Remember, Rahul Gandhi has started a video series, and the first one in that, he's questioning Narendra Modi-led NDA government for its foreign policy. He has gone on to actually make justifications for why China did what it did at the LAC in Ladakh now. Now, Rahul Gandhi has gone on to pose certain questions and has claimed that the Narendra Modi-led government has made blunders as far as the geopolitical front is concerned. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has rebutted Rahul Gandhi point by point. He goes on to say, for example, Rahul Gandhi questions on foreign policy. Here are some answers. I'm quoting what Jaishankar has said. Our major partnerships are stronger and international standing higher. Witness regular summits and informal meetings with US, Russia, Europe and Japan. India engages China on more equal terms politically. He's also gone on to say, we speak our mind more openly now on CPEC, on BRI, on South China Sea, on UN-sanctioned terrorists, etc. He also goes on to say that ask the media and address the border infrastructure imbalance legacy. Compare 2014-2020 with 2008 to 2014. Budget up by 280%, road building 32%, bridges by 99% and tunnels by 6%. Our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor is also joining us for more on this. Aishwarya.
Shivani, at this point of time, the tweet which you were just reading out, it makes it very clear that the government is hitting back. You have the Foreign Affairs Minister, who's normally very quiet and to himself, reacting out on an at least 8 to 9 tweets, hitting back point to point, point blank, to the former Congress President Rahul Gandhi, making one thing very clear, that all those points which are being raised by Rahul Gandhi are not only factually wrong, but the reasons because of the problems which are being faced by the present government are because of the decisions which were taken prior. As you said, as you mentioned in relation with Sri Lanka, he said that it's only because of the policies which were followed till 2008. And then it goes ahead and says that the kind of policies which were favored with Nepal, it is only after a decade that India is seeing prime ministerial level of visit. So yes, he is giving point-to-point rebuttal. He is trying to teach Rahul Gandhi basically that what all questions you are raising, Shivani, are questions which were created in your government, created during UPA 1 and UPA 2. So S. Jaishankar trying to hit back because the kind of attack which came in from the former Congress President Rahul Gandhi was pretty scathing and was direct onto the External Affairs Ministry and then the foreign policy of the government. Hence, S. Jaishankar, yes, Shivani.
Yes. No, Aishwarya, very importantly, S. Jaishankar has also gone on to talk about Pakistan and the change in India's response to Pakistan, which he also notes in his tweet that Rahul Gandhi has very conveniently skipped as far as his geopolitical talk on India is concerned. On Pakistan, Jaishankar goes on to say, and Pakistan that you skipped surely notes the difference between Balakot and Uri on the one hand and Sharm el-Sheikh, Havana and 2611 on the other. Very stinging response by the External Affairs Minister.
Shivani, point blank, hitting back where it pains the most to the Congress party. Rahul Gandhi, in an interview, had spoken a lot on Indian foreign policy, and as you correctly mentioned, on the issue of Pakistan, which the minister mentions it onto the social networking site that you skipped. So he's saying that you deliberately skipped to comment on Pakistan, and here's why you skipped. And then he mentions the very difference between what happened, Balakot, and on the other hand, it's Sharm el-Sheikh, Havana, and then 2611. So what the minister is basically trying to say that the policy of government of India has changed drastically. There is a 360-degree change in the foreign policy of India that was during UPA 1, UPA 2, and then what is during Modi 1 and Modi 2. So the foreign affairs minister giving facts, giving statistics, giving the very examples on which Rahul Gandhi cannot counter because it was a one-way attack coming in onto the foreign policy of the government of India. And then you have our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar now hitting back at Rahul Gandhi.
No, but Aishwarya, the basic question of just exactly who is Rahul Gandhi to ask these questions does not go away even if he produces a video on his own. Rahul Gandhi has not attended a single defense committee meeting in the time that he has had the privilege of being part of. Now, if he was so concerned about India's defense capabilities and also how that plays as far as South Asia is concerned and geopolitics, what is the excuse for not attending any of these meetings? And then if you haven't attended these meetings, who are you to launch a video attack?
Shivani, that's funny because being a Gandhi in the Congress party seems as if you get everything in a platter, and that's the way Rahul Gandhi still thinks. But this is different India, and this is something which they need to understand. As you said, the number of meetings which he had attended, not only on one committee but on several committees on which he's a member, he has got that privilege to be on those committees, but he has not been active. So the message is that you are not active where you can be, and you will be active only to give an angle to it, only to show it to the people, only to show it to the media. So it's just gimmicks. It's only opposition for the sake of it. If you really feel that there is something wrong which is happening, being an opposition, you have a right in the Indian democracy, but then raise it at the valid platforms. Why, as you said, why were you not present in those committees? And if you were, why didn't you raise? So all of those questions are still there. But at the end of the day, here you have a series of replies, scathing replies, hitting back at Rahul Gandhi from the Indian Foreign Affairs Minister, who's normally quiet. But then the kind of attack which came in from Rahul Gandhi, it feels as if S. Jaishankar even couldn't keep quiet, and he has hit back with facts, with figures, and telling him that all these problems, whether it is Sri Lanka, whether it is Maldives, whether it is Pakistan, whether it's China, whether it's Nepal, all these problems which were creating during UPA 1 and UPA 2, the government is trying to sort it out. With Nepal, it's for the first time in 12 years that you've seen prime ministerial level of visits between India and Nepal. We are trying to sort it out, what you spoiled. As far as Sri Lanka and Maldives are concerned, the very agreements which were done back in 2008, those are being rendered, those are being sorted out now. As far as China is concerned, India, for the first time in the history of independent India, has shown to China that you cannot mess with India. Beijing cannot mess with Delhi, and that has been showed with an iron fist. As far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan has been told that talks and terror will not go hand in hand, irrespective of a cricket match or not. Nothing will happen till you continue to sponsor harbour terrorists. All of these measures have been taken, and that's why you see the External Affairs Minister, Shivani, hitting back at Rahul Gandhi here.
Yes. Well, safe to say it is hardly a contest. In sporting terms, this is going to be a knockout if you have got Rahul Gandhi versus Jaishankar. You cannot talk foreign policy better than what Jaishankar knows. He's been in the service for 30 years and, of course, was a lateral entry as far as politics is concerned. A technocrat who was brought in because of his expertise as far as the Minister of External Affairs is concerned. And it's actually good to see that the External Affairs Minister, Aishwarya, has responded, because Rahul Gandhi through these videos, is in a monologue mode. But as a politician, you cannot be in a monologue mode. You have to be able to raise pertinent questions. If you look at his participation in parliamentary debates itself, it's abominable as an MP. So, this kind of monologue politics doesn't work. But even that, it is good to see that the government has responded.
Well, absolutely, Shivani, because at this point of time, the kind of monologue which was going on the part of Rahul Gandhi, so his basic garb has been broken out. The Foreign Affairs Minister has basically hit back with facts and figures, and as we've been saying, he has given out point-by-point rebuttal. If you see in those 8-9 tweets, he is issuing, or he is basically attacking back on every point, whether it is Sri Lanka. Whenever Rahul Gandhi said whatever Rahul Gandhi said about every country, and then the Indian foreign policy which is being followed in regard to that country, what is the real problem and why that problem is being faced, Foreign Affairs Minister is very, very clearly mentioning. Whether it's about Sri Lanka, whether it's about Maldives, whether it's about our foreign policy towards the US, whether it's our relations towards Russia, whether it's our relations towards China, whether it's our relations towards Eastern Europe. All of these points are being point-by-point rebutted and told that it is only and only because of a failed foreign policy which was... Yeah, Shiva.
No, but Aishwarya, let's come to the larger issue also. Rahul Gandhi in his monologue tries to give Indian public, quote unquote, reasons as to why China is behaving the way it is behaving now. Now that is a factually wrong premise, isn't it? Because China has behaved like this in the past. We cannot forget the wars that India has fought with China, 1967, 69 as well. And we cannot forget that every year there are border skirmishes with China. The only reason it has escalated to the level it has because India has stood up like never before. He tries to give us excuses for China's behavior. But why is Rahul Gandhi doing that? Why is Rahul Gandhi trying to give an alibi to China by pinning down India's foreign policy? Even if there were some defects in India's foreign policy, does that give China the right to behave the way it has? The very mentality with which Rahul Gandhi has posted this video needs to be questioned. What is he trying to achieve here? Aishwarya is going to be with us in just a bit, but External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has hit back at Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, remember, has released a video where he's pinned down India for its poor foreign policy under Narendra Modi for the reasons for why what has happened at the Ladakh LAC with China has happened. So he's sought to give really China an alibi once again. He might be the only politician in Indian politics today who's actually trying to find reasons as to why China has done what it has, when everybody else and across the world has panned China for its expansionist designs that cannot be explained and justified no matter what. But S. Jaishankar has come out and asked him a lot of questions as far as our neighborhood is concerned. On Nepal, for example, he goes on to say, there may be some sticky issues with Nepal today. He goes on to say, Nepal, after 17 years, is getting prime ministerial visits and a swathe of developmental projects, power, fuel, housing, hospital, roads, etc. ask their citizens. On Afghanistan, he goes on to say, Afghanistan sees completed projects, Salma Dam, Parliament, expanded training and serious connectivity. Ask the Afghan street. On Bhutan, he says, Bhutan finds a stronger security and developmental partner. Unlike 2013, they don't worry about their cooking gas. Ask their households. He's also gone on to talk about India's changed tactics with Pakistan, which, not so surprisingly, Rahul Gandhi did not touch upon Pakistan in his monologue. On Sri Lanka, some facts on our neighborhood, says Jaishankar. The Hambantota port agreement between Sri Lanka and China was concluded in 2008. Ask those who dealt with it. Difficult ties with Maldives after India watched President Nasheed being toppled in 2012 now stand transformed. Ask their businesses. A settled land boundary 2015 with Bangladesh opens paths to more development and transit, and terrorists no longer find safe haven there. Ask our security. As I mentioned, he goes on to talk about Nepal, Pakistan, Bhutan and Afghanistan as well. At the very top, he has answered as far as the foreign policy questions are concerned. He goes on to say, our major partnerships are stronger and international standing higher. Witness regular summit and informal meetings with US, Russia, Europe and Japan. India engages China on more equal terms politically. We speak our mind more openly now on CPEC, on BRI, on South China Sea, on UN-sanctioned terrorists, etc. And address the border infrastructure imbalance legacy. Compare 2014 to 2020 with 2008 to 2014 budget. The budget is up by 280%, road building by 32%, bridges by 99% and tunnels 6 times.